Hi guys,
Hi guys, how are
welcome
you?
back. You look like a
Welcome.
señorita.
Yes, mamacita.
Loving it, loving it, loving it. The hair, the dress, everything. You look awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, beautiful.
How
You
you
have my
feel?
necklace. It's one of yours, girl. It's one of
I
yours.
know.
It's one of
Thank you.
yours, girl. It's one of yours. I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sponsoring me. How are you guys?
I think they're
It's been
good.
so long.
Too long, way too long. We had some
Yeah, it's been
technical
too
issues.
long.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
the new year, the new resolutions, the transformations, the 6 months, everything is going so fast. The new year is like it's already February now, like in
Yeah.
blink of an eye.
And a
That's
blink of the
crazy.
eye, exactly. And we have, real woman, real talk. We're going to address every single topic that we can in order to transform to a beautiful flower that we're supposed to be. So that being said, over the past couple weeks, we introduced some goals. We talk about the resolutions. We mentioned some motivation, that it's not something that dwell on you, but you have to actually work on it. Change, it's hard, but we cannot forget change in the communication. What I mean by change in communication, the way we're going to communicate with each other. If you want to have any type of change, body, mind, soul, that we were working on, you have to work on understanding your surrounding, understanding the people that you work with. It could be business, it could be professional, it could be personal, but you need to understand where people are coming from in order to better negotiate with them, in order to better understanding them, and how they feel. Because I think we forget to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, or in order to make change happen. And what I mean by that, there's different generation and there's different priorities in those generation, and those generation, we need to understand them in order to negotiate a new promotion, in order to make a project work, in order to achieve what we want to achieve within 6 months.
Yeah, I love that, and the perspective from different generation and the attitude from different generations are different. So you have to take that time to acknowledge that we are not all the same, like baby boomers and millennials and X. We don't react the same things to technologies, to certain news, to some positioning, environment, family, love, physical health. These all are things that are very different from every generations.
Yeah.
So it was for us, it came out in one of our conversations.
Yeah.
And we share with you guys, obviously, all the conversations that touch our heart and become important in our growth within the 6 months. This is how we create the content, the line of content we're creating. It's straight and honest. We realized that we worked with baby boomers. It was fucking hard.
Yes.
And we had like same experiences when it comes to like bad management, not to say bad, but old school management.
Yeah.
So this is how it came. So we're like, oh my God, we want to share with the younger generation, the elder baby boomers and stuff, and people like us in the middle, the X that are like right now the senior managers that you would be dealing with in the business force. So it's good for you to understand the different generations, so you can understand how to get the positive perception and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let's start right away. Okay, so we want to talk about 3 groups: baby boomers, X, and millennials. One of the purpose of the video also is to bring some light to the millennials, because we love the millennials. We love you, millennials. Thank you.
We do. And I think and I love the fact that you say that we love the millennials. I heard so many bad stuff about the millennials, that they're this, they're lazy, they don't want to.
Entitled.
Exactly. So
baby is always crying,
never
unprofessional. Like we so in a different.
We don't
have
see
such
it
a
that
different
way.
image. No, because if you're honest, they had an impact on the workplace. But for us, like we can say it's a positive change.
It is.
And thank God that change happened.
Yes. Yes.
Because managing your team by having them being afraid of you, like fear, that old management, fear, like you would go at work and
walk on eggshells.
On eggshells, and the violence, screaming, the doors,
the phones,
the insults,
the phones, remember?
The phone, like checking the phone. So all those things are very extreme, and we've been through those things. I've been through those things. I had a boss like screaming literally like at me, and you went to school and now I have to tell you how to do your job. Don't you have a master? And you're just like,
I'm sorry.
Because I was young. He was not telling this to the woman I am today. He was telling this to a 28 years old new. It was new for me to be in those type of positions after my master. So I just wanted a little explanation. Anyways.
Yeah.
So baby boomers, we love them. Baby boomers are mostly, if we go to their strength, we found they were competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive because the sales, remember, they sell people back in the days. You have to put your mind in the 80s, right? 80s, 90s. So like the first reports, they're very into sales. They're really into numbers. They have a lot of the carrot. They put the carrot and you get, okay, I'm going to give you bonus. And if you hit that number, we're going to give you this more. And that was that time, right? That was that moment of time that now if you say to someone, oh, work more and I give you 25 cents more an hour, they'll be like, what?
Really? Yeah, it's true. The competitive aspect that you mentioned, it is one of the biggest strengths. And don't get me wrong, even though the economy has changed and now instead putting the sales first, we put the customer first. But back then, listen, my mom, she bought the vacuum from the salesman at the door. She bought the encyclopedia, the heating system. Yeah. And that within the same year, because there were Insurance. Oh my goodness. Every single week there was one at the door. And back then I find that those people, they had such a negotiation skill. And even though they were able to sell anything to anyone, even though they didn't have money. So yes, that was that industry of, I'm going to sell you. And they develop and they're salesmen. If we look today at the baby boomers in our organization, trust me, we can spot the baby boomers based on the way they talk, numbers, sell, increase sales. They don't really put
results.
Yes. It's a good thing because you need result in order to advance. But at the same time, to what extent? Did I really want to sell anything to anyone without they use it? They're never going to come back after. So
so you see the growth from there, from our generation would change, and we're going to go through it. So stay focused and understanding and apply this to different people you worked with or and so you can understand maybe better, like why when I'm talking about XYZ, this person keep telling, but it's all about the result. When for you, maybe you're like, this person is so annoying. Like, of course I know about no, it's just, that's how they've been programmed. Like, that's how they,
Yes.
So don't take it personal.
No.
They're professional. When I say that, I don't mean they're more professional than others. I just mean that they have those very cliche, conservative ideas of what is professionalism. Professionalism is going at work with, oh my God, this is a little open, a million. Like, you wear this for work, cover it up. This is more
too
proper.
Sexy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The hair and like maybe a tie, dressed up. So they dress up very professional. They, you work with the baby boomer, they're going to come with their Tim Horton coffee and their little suits, and they have the everyday versus you work with younger generation. They might come in jeans and one day she's all prepped up and one other day she's all, so this is something I noticed about baby boomers. They're very being on time, all those old ideas. Like, sorry, I say that, but
it is true.
It
is true. And you know what? They're going to base, and if we can take it furthermore, they're going to base really the book by its cover. If you dress in a certain way, they're going to associate you as not being professional, not being mature, not being serious at your job. And maybe they will even pursue you as not being a performer. Versus someone who come in their suit and dress tight and everything, and they're just performing on the norm. because they're dressed the way they are and they present themselves in a certain way, they will be perceived as someone who's, oh my goodness, did you see a millennial? Wow, this girl, she's performing a lot. But it's
Yeah,
based
it's
on
true.
what?
They're very based on appearances.
Yeah.
So on looks, the outside matters a lot. So
Yeah.
be careful if you're surrounded, you want to do business, ask for a loan, have a promotion. If you go in a company knowing that for this role is not your role, you want that role, then you know you invest, dress well, be on time, be there. It's supposed to be there at 9, be there at 8, dress good every day.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing just what expected of you, you will look like that person that is so professional. Right?
Yes.
We can rely on you. We can trust you. We can.
Yes.
Versus if you're there at 9:30 and you're working 10 hours a day, but you're a bit crazy like me, people will always think, "Oh, she's good," but
she's not ready.
You know, like she lacks serious. She's not serious enough, and maybe she doesn't really understand like exactly like something is like not sure, right?
Yeah.
So this is very baby boomers. So
Yes.
these millennials, and especially like be aware, be careful, they judge you.
They do even the way you talk. If you're too happy, millennial.
Always smiling, and like, I mean, when you work, you're supposed to be serious. So when you're always having fun and you have you give that perception that you're not serious and you're not working. But for me, like, I'm that type of manager, for example, where I promote in my team, we have to have fun and perform. So we be excellent, but we're gonna laugh ourselves off.
Yes.
But that's the type of manager I am. So in the company, if my boss is most likely a baby boomer, you will have this perception of me that there's a lack of serious, there's a lack of discipline, there's a lack. But why? Why can't we have fun and perform? What's wrong with you? Not a problem if you're not happy with your life. No, I'm joking. I'm an actor in me, but yeah. So they judge a lot. So that's why we wanted to take the time on those points. So be aware, please, how you dress, how you talk, the time you arrive, your behaviors around baby boomers, because they judge. So think about like if you're going at your family's reunion and you have to behave a certain way, keep it professional. You said that they were generous if they like you.
Yes. Right? What do you mean by if they like you?
In a sense that they're not naturally generous, but it's true that if you have the chance to find a baby boomer that likes you, you'll have the chance to have like a generous mentor that will hook you up, tell you tricks, train you, share, protect you.
Yeah, and it's true. I like what you mentioned, that they will protect you. If you can find a senior, because usually they held in the organization the senior VP role or the VP role, the senior director. If you can find one who puts you under his wing and protect you and guide you and become your coach or your mentor, your career gonna go up to the ladder. The reason why, because they will give everything that they have from their knowledge to transfer it to you in order you succeed. They're going to see you as their son, their daughter, and they really are generous with their time, and they appreciate that someone comes to them and want to have an open conversation and learn from them. So if you could find someone, please, it will give you a tremendous favor in your career.
Yeah, and we gave you some tricks on their strength, so you know how to position yourself to build a relationship with that generation. On the other side, just be aware, like we said, can be judgmental. They tend sometimes to, because they're more conservative, they build their careers on results. So for sure, they don't like risk as much as for me, like Generation X. We were raised in professionally, and like we have to test to know. So we test and learn. We make mistakes, we learn from that, and we get better. I think this came from the baby boomers, where the one mistake, so one fall was like such a big deal. And I found like younger, like the generations, and we have another reaction to risk or failures or stuff like that, versus that generation that is not very so they could be scared to fail.
Yeah, and you're right. The mentality, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the mentality of trying something and the risk taker, they were not really welcome. If you try
Yeah.
something and you fail, your head will be cut at the same time. And it's not a joke.
Yes.
People could not make mistake.
Yeah.
It wasn't welcome. Versus, like you
Yeah.
mentioned right now, it's like they encourage you to fail because they say, yes, fail as much as you can. So
Yeah,
maybe
have
we're
some
gonna,
courage, try new stuff, go. Yes. It's very different, and it's I mean, it's better, so you don't have to work with that anxiety,
yeah,
but at the same time maybe you can have more compassion and understand better why your boss keeps saying no to certain ideas, or how to make some ideas more acceptable. So maybe you have to build that a stronger profile, so maybe your project will finally get a go, you know.
yeah,
So yeah. And to finish, we had we found like they were not adapting as younger generations. I
yeah,
think they had to do a lot of adapting, so maybe it's not fair, but still they
yeah,
still in old systems, when even when it comes to only like the way you manage your resources. Most of the time I find they're very in old school.
yeah,
What time did you come in? What
yeah,
versus like how do you feel? What do you need? What can, like, they're a bit old approach in a lot of
yeah,
different spheres
yeah.
and things
And
like
I
that.
think it's based on fear, and maybe I'm not correct on that one. My perception, it's based on fear. The reason why our generation, it's the one who come up with the technology, with the computers, with the new way of working system and everything. When that was introduced in the workplace, they were already in their 40s advanced, so the
Mhm.
adaptation was very scary for those people because they had those big titles, those great jobs, and then you say, okay, this is a new technology, you have to adapt and you have to implement maybe in your organization. So the risk
Yeah.
of failing was much higher when you start out of nothing. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why they're a little bit scared of adapting or being the first one who say, oh my god, there's the new technology come out, we need to have it, it's the greatest tool ever. Maybe because they had some
Yeah.
past
And
experience.
do you think it's because they adapted so much
Maybe,
limits? I
maybe,
don't know.
maybe they face a lot because us were born almost in the technology. Then they were like forced. There was force upon them. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why the adaptation. But listen, guys, honestly, what we're saying, it's our personal
We
experience,
love
what
them.
we went through, what we saw. It's not based on any study. It's really based on our 40 years of career and how we interact with different type of humans.
Yeah, it's based on our professional experiences. So this is the baby boomers, and after the baby boomers, you have the X. So the X, I forgot the dates. I'm sorry, but they are in between the baby boomers and the millennials, just to give you an idea. So
Yeah.
for us, we like the oldest millennials or the youngest X. So we don't know exactly the fuck we are, but we're happy because we like in the we had like just the last wave of the old
Yeah.
ways to the new ways. So I think I had a both of everything. I think the 5 6 first years of my career were in the old, and
Mhm.
the other half was more in the new ways. So we had a little bit of everything, and this brings also a new way of behaving in the workplace, because we have the baggage of the millennials, and we have the baggage of the baby boomers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us, the X
The X, we're in the
millennial.
middle. We're in the middle.
Yeah,
We're, and that's explains so much. We're gonna say our strength and our weakness. And honestly, it's we have like the middle child syndrome.
exactly. So we were left because we were in the middle, like the middle
Yeah.
child. You lack attention, and we just in a like a rough transition in between two worlds. So one of our biggest strengths was exactly resilience. We learned to be resilient in organizations. Most of the time, people will like appreciate working with us when there's a lot of gray areas,
Wait.
when they don't know exactly how it's gonna work. All those things are things where the X are very comfortable. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. I'll figure a process. I'll find a way to do it. Yeah, whatever. So we're very
Consider it
like,
done. Yeah.
yeah, we learn how to get things done, even if the environment or the context is very unclear. So we got to be very comfortable with unclear, changing,
Yeah.
vague we comfortable with that. We have compassion. We're very more human and compassionate at work. So I think we are the first one who brought. They were the ones that they just signed off of the workplace in the X. I mean, like they just they come in and out, and they didn't they didn't want to have that link that the baby boomers had with companies, you know.
Yeah.
But us, we're more like in the middle, in the sense that we had like bad bosses, bad experiences, and we had good ones. So I think it make us more humans as manager also, because we lived bad situation when we were not talking to a very nice way, not felt respected or considered or whatever the abuse was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it make us more understanding and generous in general,
compassion
in the workplace.
It's true, because as a manager, I tend to be more close to my team, having open heart discussion without mixing to go into deep personal aspect, but having this open heart discussion that we didn't have with baby boomers. We're more considered as robots, and this is what you're gonna do. Don't ask too many questions, because it's not your job to ask questions. You came here.
Asking questions is taboo.
Yeah, in our generation, it was absolutely not welcome and not well perceived. How dare you ask me or doubt my decision? It was
if I have to, I'm going to do it myself. I have to explain everything to you. That was the thing with the
or
we went through.
Yes, or I had a couple manager who said, "Are you questioning my authority?" And you're like, "No."
Seriously, you've been told that?
I've been told by one manager, "Are you questioning my authority?" I'm like, "No, I'm just questioning the initiative. That's it." And that's why I find that even us, as a woman specifically, and this is, I'm going to tell personally, I learn to take my place around the table, and I learn to speak out. So now when I have a young employee who come, I want the person to feel comfortable, and I want them to speak up their mind, because anybody brings something good on the table. And I'm not the expert of every single field. This is why I hire people to help me to grow the organization.
Exactly. I am so aligned with you on those things. But I think the beauty of just the change that we're talking about, that we think sincerely that is positive.
Yeah.
So the me too, as a manager, I noticed that I was a very different manager than the people that managed me, based on my experiences. I want to talk with my team. I want to be close to my team.
Yes.
I don't connect with the mentality that be careful, don't be too close to your team, it's your team, and you always I don't need that type of mystery. I believe in leadership, and I think leadership, you can own it, win it. So I'm willing to work for my team, to win that position of leadership, even though if I have authority, nowadays it's not enough. Like formal authorities, it's not enough anymore. You have to win your team if you want them to be engaged. The same thing we do with clients and everything, whatever.
Yeah, that's well
so compassionate. We are problem solvers.
Yeah,
we get through things we don't know how to do. We can do things for the first time. We're not afraid of new things. We figure it out.
We figure it out
because we were left without explanations.
No,
we couldn't really ask questions. We couldn't really say we didn't understand. We need help, because it would be like a sign that we're not perfect. But they were judgmentals, the baby boomers, right?
Yeah.
So if you go and you're like, I'm a little overwhelmed, I don't know how to do this. Are you sure this girl can do the job? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Versus now, if your employee comes to you, I don't know how to do this. I'm like, oh my God, yes, always come to me. My door is always open. If you need something, I'm going to help you. Just please, come to me, right? That's what we do now.
Yeah.
If you need the formation, if I need to train you, we'll do the necessary things so you're comfortable, so you can function and work properly. It was not the case back in the days. Like, follow up, figure it out, put your big girl panty and just, you want it to work?
Exactly. And it's crazy because I remember when I started my first job after university, and they just give me my computer, give me the papers, read and figure it out. And the thing is, no training whatsoever on the cultural aspect of the business, of the brand proposition, on what's the values, how to even manage. And that was in the bank. So how would you welcome a customers? Where do you go in the system? They just give us a paper, a book, and go do online little training. And that was it. Like no onboarding. And after your customer, your boss, after a week, maybe she comes to see you. How's it going?
Of course.
I'm lost.
Yeah, man, I've been pushed like thrown in water and learn how to swim by yourself. That was a lot the mentality. You know, you're gonna learn through it. So it's okay, but it depends on people. Some people it broke them because they don't like to be in gray areas, and they need things to be clear to perform. But thanks to the way I'm made and the way you're made, like and a lot of us, like we survived, and we became very resilient and problem solvers and very more compassionate and human. So I think ex-managers are already easier to live with than the baby boomers. We're not perfect, but it's a step, right?
Yeah.
So the weakness we found in our group was most logical. That was that we tend to be maybe confused on certain things. Maybe you would find things that are not very aligned or not like why, because you have to understand that we most of the time stuck between two worlds. So we have the baby boomer world and those mentalities and those expectations, and a lot of times they are still our boss, and we're managing millennials, so we're kind of in the middle of two different universe.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where maybe the confusion, and I can sincerely see that sometimes I might have been confusing for my team, because it's true that sometimes I've been confusing myself. So but sometimes, with some ideas or some principles or some decisions you make, usually maybe me, I'm very open and everything, and suddenly I'm like more, no. Oh, what's going on with the million? No, I don't want to do this. No, we don't do this. And after, like the day after, I'm like, oh, why I did this? Like, oh, I was such a bitch. Like,
that wasn't nice.
Let me go talk with my team. You want to go eat? This and that. I'm exaggerating, but human compassion, right? So you think back of what you do, but I had it's true that the little tendency of confusion.
Well, we were confused. We're still confused, I think. Don't get me wrong, we're far away being over of that journey, but we're confused as well. And I think we spoke about it the other day when we were talking about our subject was, wait, we have the baby boomers giving us something to do, a goal, whatever, to deliver. On the other hand, we have the new approach, the new way of doing that it's totally the opposite of this. So you're stuck in two different type of energy, and you have to figure out. So the confusion comes like, I get I need to go there, but here it just doesn't make sense. I can't present that to my team because they're not going to buy. And right now, I'm going to tack around on the millennium. You need to get their buy-in. It's not like I'm asking you to do that and deliver. It's like, are you in the buy-in? Are we going to do it? Were you, but like, you need that engagement from them. And on this side, he's just going to throw up everything that he needs, his goal. I want to increase this million and figure out. And on the other hand, it doesn't work. So we are confused. I am confused sometimes.
Yeah. It is confusing also sometimes within how you communicate. What would you evaluate being good results or not? How do you present?
Yes.
So lame, but you can have excellent results, but maybe you don't present them in a way that resonate with your baby boomer. So be aware. You better work less and have a report that is really aligned with their wants.
Oh my God, yes.
Giving them what they really need, and maybe not giving them the exact result that they would want.
Yeah.
They won't take it as like, wow, like they'll be but we said they're a little afraid and uncomfortable and not sure. So you have to give them numbers they can hold on to. Sometimes you can't. Yeah. And sometimes it can play against you. So you decide. Sometimes I just follow my heart and I do what I think is the right thing to do for the company. But sometimes it played against me because I could have been more way lazy and do things way more simpler, but bring good results.
Yes.
On paper.
On paper. Yeah. Show me the money.
Yeah. and have a better perception of my work when really those numbers were less than the number I could have got.
It's funny because you know what? That makes me think every time that you're trying to present, and you know it's a baby boomer mentality, I usually start with to catch their attention. We had an increase of this amount. You
Keep
start
it
with
short,
a number.
short. Keep it short.
Yes.
Less details, the better. If you can have two numbers with like two sentences, because they will like scrutinate like to the. I'm just giving you like this experience. Okay, be
Yes.
careful if you're presenting things to a baby boomer. Less is more. And yeah. Oh yeah, we said that the X, because we suffered a lot of the hierarchical things, you know. So the titles are important because you want to have power to make
Yeah.
decisions. It was very difficult to gain that right to talk at the table at our
Mhm.
time, in our time.
Yeah.
Nobody asked us what we thought was right, or people were just wanted to tell us what to do and to obey and perform,
Yes,
right?
you're so
So
right.
to earn that right to speak, to say what you think, to do what you think was like for me like the greatest privilege. It's finally to get a job where I can do what I want for the company. But I
Yeah.
just want to do what I want for the company, so I can
Yeah.
use my own creativity, my own ideas to solve a problem. This our generation, it was like something you work to gain.
Yeah.
Versus the millennials, they come in the workforce and they want to tell you what they think, what they think, what they think. You're like, you've been working for how long? 6 months? Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's the confusion, right? One side of me, I'm like, oh yes, talk, be yourself. And the other side of me, baby boomers, is more like, shut the fuck up. You didn't work for 1 year and you want to tell me what the fuck to do shit?
Oh,
But
that's
it's
just
true,
funny.
that's the confusion.
Yeah.
So
That's so true.
us. So the title, would you agree? Because I don't feel
Honestly,
we wanted titles to like, but I feel we want titles because we want to have power and we want to be able to have a voice
yeah.
and we want to be able to live our passion, whatever it was, and
Yeah.
be. So we want the titles to be able to exist in the
It's sad,
company.
but you know what? You touch a very sensitive topic because it's so true and it sucks. Because in order to have a voice around the table, you had to have a certain title, and
Yeah.
if we and now it brings back a lot of memories. And if the VP in my young field, he speak up, even though someone else said it the same way, but he got ignored, but the VP got praise for it because he's the VP. Oh my God, what a genius. When you just look,
And you cannot talk with the VP if he talks. It's your boss or your boss's boss that can give him the response, because for you it would have been,
yes,
you know,
yes, and
we
exactly.
come from that world where it
Yeah,
was
it
more
was very heavy.
hierarchical.
Very
Yeah.
vertical, very heavy, very long and inefficient, I would put. Because what's the purpose of me working on a project when I have to go on board my boss to give her the information that he goes and on board his boss, for example, and he goes present it to God knows who. Like I
The
find
board
that
or someone else. That's crazy.
it's heavy for absolutely no reason, and it's just to hold on to that power. And it's funny, I had a conversation this week with someone, and the person there's a lot of company that are still managing that way, and they find that
A lot.
my character wouldn't fit in that company because
No,
I'm more into
of course.
results. Let's go, let's make it happen, instead playing the vertical role. It's so
Yeah,
it's
but you don't want to be in a company like that anymore, because now we have the choice. So why would you go like
yeah.
in a company where it's okay if someone has like a VP, for example, but let's be honest, a VP has a global vision of a division, for example, but they're not specialists,
No.
and it's okay. It's normal they're not. But my director is not a specialist too. So if you want to have a specialized conversation, why don't you take a specialist and bringing him to the conversation? That's so stupid. For me, like this aggravates me so much. Like, it's like if government, like the minister of health,
Mm-hmm.
like he couldn't talk with the doctors because has to go through someone else, to go through someone else. Go talk with the real people
Yes.
doing the things you want to know, and have the real conversations with the real people involved,
Yeah.
so you can get like real valuable information, and give richer I mean, how can you make powerful decisions if you never have like a first-hand information, and you always have like
Yeah.
like, you know how I can tell you something, you will tell someone else
Yeah.
that would tell someone else. It's
Yeah.
never the real original richest of the first load of information you've got. So for me,
Yeah.
when I've been in organizations like that, I was like, oh my God, this needs to change.
Yeah.
But usually it's like small family businesses that grew, and they still stuck in that. It's just a question of
Ah,
reaching that growth that, oh yeah, you've seen this in other
oh,
bigger companies.
financial industry, I
Oh
can
yeah, it's true.
telling
It's
you,
true. It's true. No, you're right.
it's very
You're
heavy
right.
and vertical. Even though they try,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, they really try to break that, but it's been a company been there for 150 years. It's hard to break a culture who've
it's
been
true.
built for
You're
so long.
right. I
So
think also banks, I think telecommunications, we're
yeah,
in Canada, so the structures, all those big companies
yeah,
usually
the big five,
have that. But yeah, but
the com-
some have that more human, that the VPs, director, coordinators, everybody works together.
yeah,
But most are still that type of, your VP, you talk with director, you should never talk with a chief or a coordinator, or uh,
yeah.
you talk, for me, just talk with the people like included in the project or in the subject, and then it's just,
Just make it happen. Stop wasting time.
yeah, stop wasting time turning around the bush. Put everybody around the table that's involved, and you need their input, and just get the information and get things going. Come on.
Yeah.
Genre,
Yeah.
come
No,
on.
no, I get you. And this is why it brings us to the next point, which is
Exact, political.
yeah,
So the X, we suck at politics because we want to be all around the table together, working together.
yeah,
We're more in this idea of like, I think we went to school, we had that first, our parents, you can do what you want. If you go to school, you can have a job that you love and do something you love. So we arrived in the working class like, yeah, I can do what I love. And like,
mhm.
shut up. Sit. So it makes us very bad political people in the workplace, in the sense that we blunt, and we don't like to the little games, and we most likely more like direct type of, we problem solvers. So for
Yeah,
sure we're going
yeah,
to try to solve problem and come with solutions.
yeah,
So it makes us bad political people, because you shouldn't try to solve problems. You should try to make put the pieces in strategic places to get where you want.
yeah,
But most of the time, what we want is do our job well, because we're very into our job. So
yeah.
so there's something, we high achievers, so we want to achieve. So we don't really want, it's not the ladder. Like, it depends, I guess. But yeah,
It
we're not very
depends,
strong
but
politically.
we're not strong. We don't like to play. And don't get me wrong, there's some people who end up being amazing at that game because you just had
Yeah,
to play it. And
yeah.
and
And they might have influences, help, friends, examples. It
yes,
depends of your context.
yeah,
We're just generally talking. Two
exactly.
immigrant girls are
Because
born
now I have
here.
some names of people who absolutely love that game. But most of
Me too.
us, honestly, if I have no choice, I would play that game because it's a part of a game and we have to do it because we have to advance our project. I get it. I
Yeah,
truly get it. But at the end of the day, if we think efficacy or efficiency, it has nothing efficient by it done. Sit down, like you said, sit down around the table, let's talk, let's make it happen. You want a little bit of here, she wants a little bit of there, I want it in the middle. Can we just meet somewhere in the middle and make it happen? But no, we have to play. Okay, I'm gonna go to this person, and that person maybe is gonna like you. She's gonna open this door. Oh no, that person doesn't like. So my project is not gonna be pushed there. Like I can't stand that. I can't stand that. I can't.
yes. So finally, the millennials. So what are your strengths? We love, 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 love the millennials with that specificity. Why? We love them. We love you guys. You bring so much, like a breath of fresh air into the workplace. Thank you guys. So the millennials, like what's very specific with them, say they would ask you why. They need to know why. Why you ask me to do this? Why when I proposed to you this and that you decided to go there instead of there? This is not very logical because last time when I showed you this and this, you took the green. Now why you want the blue? And all these are specific. This is,
Yeah.
imagine the baby boomers. Are you questioning my authority?
Yes.
The millennial would go straight to HR, say like, "I just been
Abuse.
mentally abused."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'm sure you experienced the same thing as well on your side with the why of the millennial. It's a classic. They
It's
want
a
to know why.
classic. It's like the classic of the millennials, but it's the classic of the kids of that generation as well.
Yes, and I think that's maybe they were the first generation that their parents were aware that having conversations with their kids matters and
Mm-hmm.
explaining why and respecting the questions and stuff, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
you see the impact in the workforce. So they love to create relations. So they create real relations. Baby boomers were uh, not very into emotions. At
No,
work, we're no
business.
emotions. We have the mask of work and we have the mask of life, and it's two different. Millennials, they broke that circle that to me, like, oh my God, thank you,
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, because like this is something that bothered me. But they bring that real human relation,
Yeah.
real faces, like we are ourselves, being ourselves at
Yeah.
work and not just
Yeah.
the work person and the work and the life. Like it's more authentic.
Yes, it's more authentic, and you. I think you're absolutely right. The baby boomers, they had two persona. They were great, and I don't want. I still I hear people say no, the baby boomers were amazing relationship builder at business. They were great business
Yeah.
builder. Relationship and business, they were amazing, but I keep it strict professional. Maybe a little bit of golf over here, maybe a little bit of wine cognac over
Yeah.
there, but there was very straight line. Millennial, absolutely right. You go on barbecue with them, you go shopping with them, you go to their baby shower, you go see their kids at the hospital. It's totally different. It's bringing
Of
the age
course.
of human at the center of our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. That's very different. I never the relations I had with my employees, I never had that relationship with my bosses. When I
Yes.
started working, but baby, no, no. So no,
Yeah.
this did not happen. So we love what something that's very specific about them is they're very aligned. So most of the millennials, they
Yes.
would be very uncomfortable, unhappy working for a company that doesn't respect their values or their vision. It has to be aligned of who they are
Yes.
with what they believe in. So all your mission, your vision, all this positioning as a brand that you have, and if you attract millennials working in your company and then it's a fraud, like let's say inside it's very toxic and you don't
Oh,
really mean what you're promoting, millennials gonna give you a headache. So just if you're like that, just no, don't hire millennials. And if you're millennials, be aware that you need that alignment to be happy. I can tell you as a manager, because I had employee, I don't feel very happy here. It doesn't align with like the things that are very important for me. So I don't know, why am I working? Why am I doing this? Why am I going? Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, me, I'm the ex, and I'm a little confused. I'm joking. You see the,
This
and
is
I'm like,
so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's things that happened to me that I think I didn't know how to deal with. So sorry, I went a bit sideways, but yeah, it took me somewhere when I had this girl that was a millennial that was very aligned in her thing, and it made her very profoundly unhappy not to find that balance. So
Yeah.
I think it's very millennial, but we love that about them.
I love them. And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned because we're going to have that topic, but work balance. I think they're millennial were the one who actually the pioneers that they brought that to the table
Yeah,
and said, me, I want work and my work
yeah,
and life to be balanced,
non-negotiable. Yeah,
non-negotiable. Uh, they want to enjoy life. They want to work. Don't get me wrong. They're not lazy. They want to work, but they want to have a great balance and they want to be aligned. And it's true. If your core organization philosophy do not follow what you're saying, they'll put you on the table.
yeah,
And
they'll keep
shame on
asking
us.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they'll
it's
keep
true.
challenging you. Basically, millennials will challenge you.
Yeah.
they'll keep coming at you. So,
Yeah. And they're the one
yeah,
who actually come up. They made it more as a open, and it's okay to question the statu quo and not be
yeah,
comfortable in a situation that something's wrong. And I have to
yeah,
give that to the millennial because of their questioning, because of their alignment, because of everything who comes up. Now you hear more and more company talking about, well, how you feel about questioning the statu quo? I'm like, girl, I have no choice. Do you see who I manage? And do you see where I'm coming
yeah. I
from?
cannot keep a team more than a year, and all my team is already like rolling every year. New people, new people, new people. How come you cannot keep your team? Because you're not aligned with your values. You're not authentic. You don't give the why. You don't create profound, honest relationships with them.
Yeah.
So you're not keeping them.
Yeah.
They're very courageous. It's very aligned with everything we just said. So you
Yeah.
have to have extreme courage to ask why and those questions. And if you don't get the answers, to have that courage to say, this is not okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
entitled to ask questions. You want me to do a job? I've never done it. Can you please take the time to explain it to me properly?
Mm-hmm.
I would have never said that. I was
You'll be dead.
but this is very millennial behaviors. Like
Yeah.
even going to HR, like I would have never go to HR. But
Oh,
millennials, like they go to HR. I don't feel good. I have C. I have this. I have it, like, so it's a new, it's a new
it's totally
but
new.
it's more zen. I find they promote more balance, authenticity, and healthy relationship in the workplace. They're more sensitive to toxicity.
Yeah.
In,
Yeah.
in a
And
way.
when that occur with the courage, if I can add, if you look at the
Yeah.
last 20 years, the amount of startup that was creative, the amount of
Yeah.
stuff that was invented, most of those are very young generation. It must be, most of them are the millenniums who brought this on the table and said, I don't like this work. This is not what I fit. I'm going to create my own reality and I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to open my startup. I'm going to come up with the new product, the new way of doing. So
Yeah.
I find that they have that way of thinking, and like you said in the beginning, it's a fresh. It's
Yeah, a breath
amazing.
of fresh air.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid, like, to go on what you said, like to have another vision of the workplace.
Mhm.
So working from home, working at having three different jobs part-time, like they have another way of addressing work, I think, because of like we went with the vague of digital, but they were in the digital. So
Yeah.
they've been doing their high school everything with computers, and I think they're less tied to a workplace
Yeah.
than my generation, for example, were like.
Yeah.
I had people in my team, yeah, let me go for a month or two and I can work from there. Or if you're not comfortable, it's okay. Don't pay me. I'll come back in 2 months. I'm like, girl, you cannot just leave and come back in 2 months. Who's gonna do your job? But like, it's something I would have never asked, that millennials will at least have the courage to ask. So bravo, bravo.
Yeah. Good job.
So on the weak side for the millennials, we want you to conquer the world. So we're gonna give you those little millennials. They love to have feedback. So here it is, baby.
Yeah.
The resistance to failure. We find it's harder on millennials.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they were used to fail very often because the school
and
system.
in the business world, like there's no padding, right? If you fail, it's like there's no padding like in the school system.
Yeah,
right?
in the
Like
schools, in the system, like you cannot redo a class. If you fail, you pass. So there's always like that notion of no failure. If your mom, for example, I remember my daughter, she came with a drawing and I don't know how old she was, maybe 9. And she's like, Mommy, do you like it? And because I'm that ex, I look at her, baby boomer. I'm like, you know what? No, it's not that great. She started to cry. I'm like, why are you crying? It's not that great. Just improve yourself. It's going to be nicer. Look, nah, nah, nah. So then she kind of understood, but I felt that that generation was most like, oh, this is beautiful. You're the best. No one's better than you. There's no failure. So I'm like,
okay, you just be you and there's no competition. And
yes,
you're right. It had an impact. You have just be aware.
Yes. And it works because when you fail and And it's okay to fail. Don't get me wrong. I love failing.
Especially now in the workplace, it's allowed to fail and learn. You just have to show that you've learned from it, then you understand what happened. And I think it's
Exactly.
acceptable nowadays compared to back in the days.
Exactly.
But it's a different reason. Like I think they were brought up different, so they are different.
Yeah. So you guys need to be aware, or we have to be aware that it's okay. And no one's going to blame you. It's not because you're less as a person. It doesn't have to do nothing personally. Because sometimes I find they take that personally and they kind of like,
Exactly.
oh my God, this is me. No, it's not you. Nothing has to do
define
with
their
you.
value.
Yeah. So
I agree. Like sometimes I feel it defines their value of themselves.
Yeah.
But not at all. Like we all fail, we all make mistakes, horrible mistakes. So it's okay. So don't be so hard on yourself, and just also you should expect to fail. It's normal. You're gonna fail. Just expect to fail, but just please like take the responsibility. I failed. I made a mistake, or I didn't end up being what I thought, or I expected better results because this and that, but I realized that this and that. Just it's
okay.
fine. It's a good test for your humility.
Yes.
Yeah. So for your humility,
you know
down. I still have things to learn.
Thank you for bringing that.
Yes. You know,
honestly, thank you.
So for a moment, for a moment, you just put you put yourself a little on the side and recollect yourself. Focus on your work. Give yourself a few weeks, and you'll bounce back and get the great next idea, and it will be quickly forgotten. It's not a big deal. Like in a company, like maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, we're already into a new story. So don't worry, you'll be fine.
It's gonna be somebody else.
Exactly. Just wait on the next fuck up. Hopefully it's not you.
And you know what? There's one thing that I really want to precise, because it's my biggest pet peeve. Please take the ownership of your action. I despise as a manager, as an employee as well, when people point the fingers at somebody else. I despise that, and a lot of people don't like it. And I find that it's not quite typical from millennial, but I saw a lot of millennial. Oh, I fell because of him. I fell because of her. Because of this.
A lot of millennials would tell you, I didn't know, I didn't understand, I didn't know. And already this is not acceptable. Like I had those, maybe like I didn't have millennials saying this to them sometimes, but I had that. But sometimes they always go and say that, like it wasn't me, it wasn't clear.
Yes.
It wasn't clear.
I've
been served that it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear. I didn't know it was me. Why is it me? Why? Like, so a lot of
questioning.
Made a mistake. Just say I made a mistake.
Yeah.
I fucked up. And just take it. Because it shows so much more strength. It comes with being more resistant to failure. It shows strength, humility. It shows that you're dynamic and you're able to bounce back. And it's, so keep that good, engaging, fun personality that you have. And don't be,
Nah, it's not worth it.
No, it's just ugly. I find when you make a mistake and you're just like piddling, why I didn't know it was me, why it wasn't clear. So it's not fun after to work with you, because now I'm aware that I have to be careful of everything I tell you, how I tell you. So self-absorbed, but we said that because we said they were the selfie generation.
Yeah.
But also they want to live the life they want. It's more what the company can do for them. What they want. I had like requests sometimes, like, what will be the phone you will give me? Is it like a new iPhone? What iPhone? What type? What model? What? I would have never asked that to my employees before. Like, come on. I had like requests sometimes. I'm like, really? Like, you're not shopping, right? So we're just providing a phone that you don't even need. We're just being nice.
Yeah. Yes. That's so funny. It's so true.
Relax. Have some class, yes. But maybe you don't have to negotiate that by email when you didn't even start the job yet, right? You can wait to be there and then like, by the way, what's the phone, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to. So I had some talks like that or something.
Yeah, and it's funny, but it's true.
You had some of those, huh?
Yeah.
And the last, we had 2 last points, was patience.
Yes, please have patience. Honestly, it's okay to take your time. I understand most of the millennials have a plan, career path done within 5 years max. They're already the president of the company, or somehow they're in a certain role. I understand that everything goes in a fast pace, but there's some steps that need to take slowly. How you eat your elephant, one bite at a time. And this is what I'm saying. Just take patience in your career path. Take patience in the steps you're going to move. You cannot have a strategic role or a role of a VP of a big corporation after 6 months. I don't care how great you are. I don't care how amazing you are. You will get there, but you need to learn the foundation first.
Yeah, take the time to learn. Give
It is
yourself the
okay.
time. Be patient to learn. It's not proving anything to anyone. You get to a position you're not very comfortable and you're not equipped to have. It's giving you a disservice when you can take the time to learn. So when you walk, you can learn to run, right? Jog and run, right?
Yeah.
So like start running like for an hour. You'll see. You better walk, jog, run, right? There's steps to it.
Yes. And the same thing in the corporate world. And you know what? I saw some of my colleagues, I would say they were like us, borderline millennial, and that's something that happened. Like they want to go so fast, but the thing is, the reality is going to hit you, and it's going to hit you hard, and you're going to hit that wall, and you're going to have hard time to get up. And I'm telling you from
won't
experience,
be equipped.
and it's going to be hard because then when you hit hard, and it hurts. And you break most of your bones in your body, and you're gonna have harder time to get up. No, but it's dramatic because I saw people careers being destroyed because they wanted to go too fast. And
too fast. It's true. I've seen it. It's true. It's better to be in a position with where you're comfortable and learn from there than giving a role that is too over because we're talking like let's say I have 1 year experience and I want to be a director of the whole creation department, but I have 2 years of experience as a designer. You might be great and have a great vision, but you don't know how to manage people. You don't know how to manage the different directors. You don't understand the links between the different team and who are the key people you need to have to protect you for your ideas. So there's a lot of different dimensions that you're missing.
Yeah.
And this is where you get
and that hurts.
Because the cure to talent for very strategic people in companies, the cure to talent, it's politics. So if you're very talented and you have those ideas and you're strong and you have that wave with you, they're going to politic your ass out. Okay? So be aware and build your foundation strong. So when you go in, you already have that. I'm telling you this for experience because I've been dropped out so many times. Now I'm like, okay. I just laugh. I'm an ex, so I don't care. Like I accept, right? I'm like, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's appreciated. So I just keep going.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. The last thing was humility. Yes. Yeah. Just stay humble. Listen. Take notes. I'm just saying this because I'm always open to talk and have discussion and build the mindset of when I have more junior people, and I want them to think by themselves. Mm-hmm. But something that I found very hard is when they don't listen and they know what they know and what they think. What you think it's important, mm-hmm. but in the business perspective, sometimes what you think it's so unequipped in the sense that you have no zero experience of nothing. So sometimes it's good to just, even if you have the idea, you say it and you take the reactions and you take notes and then you could think about it. Just don't think you're just a born genius and you're just gonna come and like for you everything is so clear and you know it all and like why you are doing all this, you do it. So sometimes I find millennials, they can be a little on top of like they see everything but they don't see the whole picture. So be humble.
I find that so far the millennials are very well equipped. You guys are brilliant. You have all the tools necessary. Just be patient and humble. Those two, if you work, my goodness, you can conquer anything. And I have great faith. I work with great people. I find that there's a lot of change that happen around the world. It's mainly caused by the millennial and in a good way. Just look, the pandemic, the working from home, that now the companies are able to have their employee work from home and still produce great result. I'm sorry, but this it belongs to the millennial because they were pushing so hard to
Yeah.
have that flexibility of hours of day, the way they want to work. So now
Yeah.
it hit in a global pandemic. Everybody's turned around. Everybody's able to work from home, perform. This belongs to the millennial.
Thank you, millennials, because I think thanks to you, it's gonna stay, and we're gonna start working differently, have better relationships at work, more respect, more understanding, more listening. So thank you. We're happy to have you. I'm happy to have millennials in the workplace. It's more suited for me. So
I can't wait for the Z to come.
yes, those ones, like they're gonna be working like from a bed, like avatar style, like ding ding, email. Please, hi Sherry, how are you? So I was wondering if the meeting of Friday, book meeting, Google, blah blah blah. Extraordinary, right?
Yeah.
You know, those things like we see, because it's already there, right? The VR and everything, the vocal recognition.
It's all
I
there.
use the vocal thing on my phone, you know, to text instead of texting.
Me
It's so
too.
precise. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
So we're close. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I can wait to, you know, sometimes there's some, even for the body, now they say you should work standing up and all. You know, we learned so much, so it's going to change for sure, and I think we're going even further for the future, and it's a good thing. The workplace was old and mean, and yeah, it was mean. Like,
It
for
was
me, when I think
toxic.
about it now, it was mean. It was good for us. I think it made us strong because we learned how to survive in every environment.
Yes.
But was it necessary? Not really.
No.
And maybe we say that now, but maybe we could have been way better than what we are now if we had great mentors and and people that took the time to give us the time to grow properly, instead of just figure it out and just you know. So we'll never know. But that was the idea, guys. Listen, 3 generations, the pro and the cons on each generations. We can do great things all together. There's no generation that is better than the other one. We clearly more enthusiastic about the millennials because we love what they bring. That's it.
That's our experience. That's it. Tell me what you guys think. Can you relate in some situation? Can you
Tell us.
see some stuff? Let us know. Maybe we're totally out of the loop, and our personal experience in Canada, it's maybe totally different in Australia, or maybe in Taiwan, or I don't know where.
And I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is. But that was based in Canada. Please let us know. Montreal, Canada.
Yeah, we're very curious to know how it is for you, and like if you have some stories of different type of manager or stories you want to get out of your systems, we're here. We're listening.
Let us know, because we went through some lovely drama. We learned a lot the tough way. It wasn't the belt, but it was very close. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something.
See you soon.
And use it as your transformation power tool.